Hi, my name is Vera Perez, and we are here today because I got so many questions on how do I maintain my youth, my energy, and how do I keep my life burning as far as I want it to be. Well, today is an exception because today is the start of the journey that I'd like to share with you. I'd like to share with you my life that I have traveled, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty blissful and blissful. Blissful and blissful. How you journey your lives, how you actually travel, depends on the learning curves that you have taken through life. Now, there are so many questions that have gotten into my message booth or private messages and as well as emails, and I'd like to share them to you. With so many questions regarding youth, regarding success, regarding how do I juggle time and my work and all of these things happening all at once. I'm not gonna tell you so many things about how people are doing this and that. I'm not gonna compare myself to all of that. What I'm gonna tell you is how I did it myself. Alright, through the years, let's start from when I was in grade 6, alright? Let me take you back on how I actually dealt with so many things in my life. Because I believe to actually further your lives, you have to go through a lot and learn from them. And it's up to you to take on the journey on the positive side or on the negative side. It's up for you to understand. It's really up for you to understand which life you want to be in the future. It's really up for you to actually take on to which side are you on. Alright? Are you ready to journey with me? Alright. Well, this is the way I'm gonna do it. I will be answering so many questions, and meantime, the question will be flashed to you on the screen, and I'm gonna answer them. And the interviewer is just actually in front of me, anonymous, but I'm gonna answer them in accordance to like an interview portion. Alright? Please enjoy, and as I take you to my life's truths revealed, truths uncovered. This is it. So now, let me take you there. Mental conditioning, let me tell you about it. It is the most important part of staying young. Mental conditioning is just the way how you condition yourselves based on how you wake up each day. And actually, it's not just a short term. Mental conditioning is basically you program yourselves to thinking and believing on what you're thinking. And most of us do that unconsciously. Most of us believe that when you wake up each day, you believe that your purpose for the day is just like most people who are out there to just do some laundry, or out there to do some kitchen chores, or go to school or go to work. Well, mental conditioning goes far beyond that. Mental conditioning, for me, basically, it's about telling myself every single day that I'm gonna be great. It's about believing in that phrase, I'm gonna be great. I always tell myself today's another day to prove to the world that I can do something better than what I did yesterday. Today is making me realize that today's just another day to stay stress-free. Now, you have to have a certain goal in life or goals in life. For me, my goal to have a life free of stresses. You know, each of us learn through life as you journey. And you actually learn that this is very important to most of you. You actually learn that some of the shortcuts in life to get or to make life easier. For me, I'm really lucky because at a very young age, when I was, I think, 16 or 18, when people keep saying that stress kills you, or stresses are the first ones to actually make you, or if not, if you actually outlive them, you will be all wrinkled. Will all be all old or weak. So I get to hear a lot of people around me, especially those beyond my age. I never had a childhood, by the way, meaning, you know, I grew up with people who are older than me, and my friends are mostly like deans of colleges and owners of companies. So maybe that's why I also think differently. And I get to realize at a very young age, getting all those things from them, the pearls of wisdom, as we all call it, it made me to thinking that they're actually true. You know, there's always a saying that most of us can realize and say that this is what they said, but is it really applicable? Or is it really the truth? You know, it's up for you to know or discern the truthfulness of everything that you hear every day in your life. So for me, I was very lucky to actually get so many pearls of wisdoms from these people, because I believe in one thing: they've already been there and they're just coming back and telling us, the youth or the youngins, that to make life easier for you, this is how it should be, this is how it's done. I always listen to them, because for me, I'm really fascinated with the lifestyles that they're all spending, you know, because for me, childhood is just like childhood, playing here and there. Don't get me wrong, I do have a little bit of play outside the house, you know, but I never had the childhood that most of us go to the mall and play around. I never had that. So it was kind of different for me. Some people call mental conditioning as a state of mind, and I believe it is. It is a state of mind, because for me, I believe the mind really controls everything, and it does, you know, because as you can see, if you don't want to move out of your bed, who controlled it? It's your mind. So mental conditioning plays a big part of how you maintain your youth, on how you maintain the energy, and of course on how you believe how your life should be. For me, I was at 16 years old, I was able to understand and realize two great things. Number one, it is the stress that really kills people. So what do? Get away from them. Number two, that it does not need for you to be at a retiring age to understand that you can retire at an early age. Meaning, I did not take that literally. It means you have to enjoy life every single day. You have to enjoy as much as you can, and don't just wait to enjoy fly here or go to another city just because you're already retired. No. When you have a vacation time, go out, have fun. If you have off days, spend time with those family or loved ones who makes you happy. The technique in life that I've noticed, sometimes it's not about what you just want, you know. It's about what makes you really happy. Because there's so many things that you really don't want it, but then along the way, as you play with them, you actually become happy. Because happiness, as what my mom always says, does not depend on anybody else, nor does it depend on who you are with or what you have become. No. But sometimes happiness results in these things. So many little curves in lives. Another thing about state of mind or a mental conditioning is you have to realize flexibility. You know, as we grow, I know if you have learned your psychology, at one point it would say something by Freud that we do pass the stage about black and white, and then that's around 25 to 30 years old. When you pass that age, you kind of know or you stick to what is black and what is white. Now for me, I played it differently. For as long as there's no death that results in anything, I understand the situation when things don't go the right way or the wrong way. For example, if there is a saying that says do not do this, don't do that, don't do this, and some of the reasons why you actually did that and it did not result in any deaths, fine, don't fret about it. You know what I'm saying? Avoid being too serious. That's another thing of the mental state. So play along with so many games, but understand also how you maintain a certain level of respect and dignity. Everything is just a state of mind. Remember that. For when one thing that happens to a certain person and you realize that he is so troubled about what happens, he's so apologetic, he's so crying over some things, I always reach out and say, look, you're not the only one who makes mistakes. Everybody does. I have made mistakes, and we are humans. We are bound for errors. You're not like robots. Even robots do have errors. Even computers have errors. I mean, I mean, seriously. So, to each of us, mental conditioning is a very important thing. You know, we have formative years. Formative years in all of us are between 1 to 3 years old. It's when your parents tell you, don't do this, don't do that. Remember those years? And as you grow, you realize that not everything they say is actually applicable to how you have grown, right? Formative years are very important things. So I really would like to encourage parents to at least be flexible when they say this and that to their kids, because it changes as they grow. So many things in the past do not apply now. So you have to really be careful on how you form your kid's brain or mental condition them. So another thing, mental conditioning to me, that is just the reason why it's very important in this topic, and one of the best kept secrets that I actually want to include in this video or documentary is that the state of mind changes the whole process of how things are interpreted. See, so many things that you have read online, so many things that you have actually heard about people saying this and that, but how far would you actually go and interpret things accordingly? Meaning, if they say this and that, do you really realize and take a second to stop and think about what they just said to you? Or would you rather be a statistic? Meaning, most of us, when we hear people say, we just go, yeah, you're right. Don't. You know, sometimes it's really nice to analyze what they say and put that into consideration. What if it happens to you? If they happen to you, what would you do? Or for example, your name is Maria. Let's say this thing happened to you. Next question would be, what would Maria do? Just certain things have certain levels of certainty, and some things have certain levels of how you respond to a situation. So how you respond to a situation is basically dependent on your upbringing, you know, your culture. So many things that your mind could be conditioned, and one of them would be your family background, your culture, your community, how things are done in your own family, how things are done based on your own. Because remember, it all starts on your own. Like for me, I don't want clutter in my house. I don't want dirt in my house. So as I go back outside, it goes the same. So how do I apply that without hurting other people is simply adding on some virtues that we have learned through life, which is respect. There's so many things that we need to understand, and one of them is virtues. What are virtues? These are basically some of the things that you need to consider when you want to follow the core or the beliefs to be good and respectable. You know, you want to have a good virtue or good virtues to follow as you grow and go through life. There's so many things about mental conditioning that we can talk about, and one of them actually or primarily is focusing yourselves to calming down, and one of them is focusing on believing whoever you believe God is. For me, I believe in only one God, and that is Jesus Christ. For some, you have your own, and I respect that, you know. And I do not want, this is another mental conditioning that I throw out there. I do not throw myself and tell other people, especially if we talk about religion, that this is the God, this is the God, this is God. Bottom line is we do have to respect, because remember, you are born another race, or let's not even talk about race. You are born another person, and this is me as another person. I drive my own car, you drive your own car. Whatever is my belief is my belief, and whatever is yours is yours. What I'm trying to tell you is that part of really focusing on having a youthful stance or getting back your energy or the mojo, they say, is understanding respect. You know, if this is what you believe in and I disagree with that, I still have to respect you for that. And once I accept that I respect you for that, then I won't have to be stressed about it. And in that way, when I have that defense mechanism inside me, I will always stay stress-free. And that is one of the things that I've learned actually, 16 and growing up. Of course, through the years I've been stubborn in some cases, because you cannot make me bend on some things that I know will result or give you another problem. That's just me. And there are so many things also that I thought were correct, and I stood corrected. But you see, through life, you kind of go up and down, and this is one of the hardest things to follow. So, if I were you, stay focused on the things that make you stress-free. I think that's the more ideal way to say it, right? When you're stress-free, you kind of accept things as they are, and not necessarily that you bend over it or you bend down. It just means that you accept that this is how you think, this is how you act. You see the big difference, right? And it doesn't mean I will follow what you did or I will follow your beliefs. No, I just happen to understand that this is you and I have to respect you. Do I make sense to you? Yeah, I think I did. So, mental conditioning for me focuses on three things. Number one, God. Number two, myself. And number three, the people around me. And the rest comes next after that. So each morning, let me course through my journey with you. I always post on my Facebook. I'm a really iconic thingy with social media. I always tell people that each morning you have to wake up, and the first thing that should come to your mind is God. You have to always, whether or not you become mechanically or robotic about it, because sometimes when you're really in a hurry, you'll be like waking up, human as we are, bound for mistakes. We tend to forget that we need to give Him at least a minute of your time. It doesn't really go beyond that. Or if you want 5 minutes out of your 24 hours, I mean, what is 5 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Now, when you focus on thanking God each day you wake up, it is also conditioning your mind and telling your mind that it's going to be a good day. Because you believe in the supreme power, in the supreme being who made you. And once you let go of your fears, the first thing you do and wake up in each morning, everything will be okay. And once everything is okay, multiply that by the days and multiply that by the years you're living, hence you actually grow slowly. Now you're getting my point why I'm having all this fountain of youth that I'm telling you. It is a journey. It is not an overnight thing. I mean, there is no way you can like, okay, let me listen to you and tomorrow morning, let me wake up and look young. There's no way. Unless you go for surgery. Even surgery would take like 4 months to actually heal, or 5 months. Because there's no such thing as an overnight fix. Unless you want a temporary fix, which now comes so many treatments now. We have a testosterone topical thing. We have this eye bug removal in 2 minutes. So many things are coming on, but they still come back. Now, if you want the slow progress of your youth, you better believe what I'm saying, because it worked for me. Who would ever think I'm 423? I'm kidding, 43. See? So that's mental conditioning. One, wake up and thank God each morning. Number two, yourselves, as soon as you do that, you kind of close everything down. And I usually do this before waking up and before I go to sleep. Upon waking up and before I go to sleep, I thank God for everything. And then after that, I always congratulate myself for doing a good job for whatever I did for the day. And it's like patting your own shoulders, because you know what, at least you need to understand you have to believe in yourselves. I thank God and thank myself for the wonderful day that I've spent throughout, and I was able to give a lot of encouragements to other people and make them happy in my own way. So and also I pray that when I do pray for myself, sometimes I just stay quiet, clear out my mind of the clutter of the so many things that I hear and I have heard in the past, and try to forgive the situation, try to forgive the people. Forgive the people who said that and who did that to me. And in that way, I'm gonna start my day clean. So you got the whole thing. Thank God first, and thank God for you. Thank God for everything, for your family and your friends. And then of course, do one goal for your community. First thing I woke up, not first thing, third thing after I thank God in myself, I always say I promise to do one thing good today to a person that I'm gonna meet the first time or throughout the day. But me, I do multiple times. I don't want it exclusively just for one person. I like to be happier, and I would like to share the happiness that I have had in the morning throughout the whole day. Mental conditioning plays a very important role in maintaining your youth energy and at the same time strength and stamina. These four things are very important in maintaining everything else that comes with your life. Because as long as you have these four things, youth, stamina, strength, and energy, as long as you have all of them, you're gonna be good. So it's just a matter of conditioning your mind in achieving this four, let's say, gas. You're like driving your car. You need the gas to actually propel yourselves or run yourselves to wherever journey you want. So there you go. Mental conditioning is really important. Mental conditioning does a lot of things to other people. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's called The Beautiful Mind. He believes in this, he believes in that, and little did we know that it was about things that he believed that never existed. But you see how powerful the mind is, can move and transcend to any other horizons that you would like to go. So we have a natural healing process. Our body is a natural medicine or factory. As long as you feed it well, as long as you feed it well with a good mental conditioning, it will follow through, it will follow suit. So that's the first thing we're talking right now, and I hope I was able to answer your first question. Your second question will be due next week, and I would like to share that to you. Meantime, I'd like you guys to enjoy mental conditioning and how it would actually process throughout your life. And those three little things that I told you about mental conditioning and how important they are and how important it is, apply them every single day. I'm not going to give you like 10 pointers right now, but I'm going to give you the three things that are very, very founded in establishing a good mental conditioning. Alright? Remember, it is how you react to things. Things will always be the way they are. But remember, you have to find control over the things that make you stressful. Stress should not be overpowering you. You should be able to control stress. Now, if you know that these things are already stressful to you, get away from them. Do not wait for your boiling point to come up. Do not wait for your blood pressure to blow up. No. If you knew that when you see a person and he's actually doing this already to you and you're beginning to initiate hate and anger, leave. Not every battle is worth fighting for. Some of them, and most of them, by the way, if you're educated, healthy, classy, and happy, are better off ignored. Because you just don't want to, it's true, you don't want to stoop down to that level, because it doesn't make you a greater person. Even though he or she will have the last say, doesn't mean you're lesser than them. Usually 90%, or let's say 80%, 90%, they're the losing end because they're still talking and you're already done talking. Alright? So I hope I'm able to give you some tips, and we'll see what's going to happen to you as we speak on to the next one, which is practices, best health practices. I think that would be for next week. Alright? Alright.